I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, in my case the Wanneroo people, and pay my respects to elders, past, present and emerging. I'd also like to acknowledge the disproportionate effect of AUKUS on First Nations and Pacific Islander people. Have they ever really been properly informed and consulted in their own language about the likely consequences of AUKUS on their land, sea, communities, skies and customs? Have they provided free, prior and informed consent to the militarisation of their traditional lands? A vision of peace for the Pacific involves freedom from colonisers and aggressors, freedom for each country to chart its own course, freedom from resource exploitation and freedom from militarisation and military repression. Peace encompasses human security, food security and economic security. It's about reducing risks and avoiding becoming collateral damage in a reckless and dangerous geopolitical game that has the capacity to end life on Earth. As with many in the Pacific, already cursed with living with the political, social and economic and physical legacies left in our region by Britain, France and the United States, along comes AUKUS, with increasing tempo and fueled by those who financially benefit. The drums of war now beat in eager anticipation of conflict between the United States and China. Without any discussion or debate, and oblivious to the wishes of the people they represent, consecutive Labor and Liberal governments have lined Australia up as an early target in the conflict the United States is fomenting with China. Our current defence policy will lead to death and destruction here on an unimaginable scale. Australia is part of a hostile military alliance directed at China. Interoperability or interchangeability means we're now a US pawn, tied to its coattails. China had no motive to attack Australia, but we've created one by our participation in the coming US war against China. Our accommodation of US forces, logistic hubs and intelligence facilities by itself is sufficient to ensure we will receive an early strike. Our interoperability makes it almost certain. Not more than an hour from where I live, on the east coast of Australia, the F-35 Williamtown hub was established to maintain Royal Australian Air Force F-35 aircraft and F-35 variants operating in the region. This includes aircraft operating out of Singapore, Japan and South Korea, from US Navy and Royal Navy carrier aircraft and from US Marine Corps F-35Bs deployed in the region. They've also recently blessed our region with an advanced missile factory, all useless against a hypersonic missile. Given the Virginia-class production rate in the United States, it's unlikely Australia will ever receive its multi-billion submarines from the United States. But what you can be sure we will see is Australia being used as a permanent site for forward home porting for American submarines in the Western Pacific, with Australian shipyards maintaining, overhauling and repairing them. Nuclear submarines are highly enriched weapons, grade uranium. The waste which will undoubtedly end up with will have to be kept deep underground on the ancestral lands of our Indigenous Australians and monitored for centuries. Weapons grade waste remains radioactive for 20,000 years. Australia will, of course, be required to spend vast sums on other military capabilities such as long-range anti-ship missiles, drones, loitering munitions, to create an Australian capacity to perform non-SSN military missions for both Australia and the United States. Our alliance puts plenty of obligations on us, but with strict US control of fuel, storage tanks, maintenance facilities, ammunition bunkers, rotations of aircraft, including bombers, accommodation, spaceports, advanced intelligence gathering facilities, telescopes, radars, launch pads for rockets, airstrips and parking facilities for major aircraft tankers, with the United States Air Force Mission Planning and Operations Centre, with Pine Gap, with RAF bases Learmonth, Curtin, and with up to 6 nuclear-capable B-52 bombers based at RAF base Tyndall, Americans not Australians, will be directing operations completely. It's hard to believe consecutive Australian governments have permitted the United States to militarise Northern Australia and soon our east and west coasts, simply to provide a staging ground for its endless wars to retain hegemony. The scene is set for the US to use its presence here to threaten other people of the world, particularly China. That country also having weapons capable of inflicting mass destruction and causing the death of countless innocent men, women, and children, as well as the potential of putting our entire species in jeopardy. Obviously, that makes all of us living in Australia and the Pacific potential military targets and collateral damage in a foolish contest for world domination. What should we do? We'll have a hard time making headway with the conventional political parties, but we must maintain pressure on politicians for accountability and transparency. We must keep working to convey to the public the strategic naivety and financial improvidence of our alliances so their underlying assumptions are examined and questioned. The surge in independent candidates being elected reflects the popular discontent with the Labor-Liberal monoparty, so that also might provide an opportunity for the future. Even if we must maintain security alliances, a full and open public discussion and open parliamentary debate should give the people a voice and ensure that what eventuates is at the least palatable to the Australian public. Thank you, IPAN. Good luck with your webinar, and I look forward to meeting many of you soon.